There is a monumental shift happening underneath all of the AI marketing noise out there, coming from the companies marketing the products themselves, as well as the creators that are trying to sell you the how-tos to use AI. And if you're not paying attention to the shift, it'll be really easy to fall into the trap of spending more money than you need, spending more time than you need, and feeling like you're constantly behind and trying to catch up and just going around in a circle instead of feeling like you're actually growing your business or your expertise. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with what's going on in the marketing. It's the way that marketing has been going over the past decade plus of content creators coming on, trying to sell you how to use a thing, and then SaaS coming out, trying to make your lives easier and selling subscriptions to a product that helps solve some type of problem. Nothing wrong with any of that. However, the shift happening underneath, and the thing that I see disrupting all this, is AI itself. Now, the traditional models relied on a certain level of expertise and someone to be in the trenches learning all of the different components to a SaaS, or learning all the different components to how to get something done in your business, whether it comes to running ads, creating marketing copy, creating sales scripts, whatever it may be. And you would look towards those experts to help you solve that problem. And you probably buy a course, buy some coaching, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that business model. It's really helpful to allow experts to be experts and come alongside you and cut out all the time it would take for you to learn that skill, which would just be impossible. You can't learn everything. Especially as a business owner, you're going to have your hands in many things. You're going to be probably not an expert at any one of them. And this is how agencies are born. This is how products are created and sold. And this is how coaches get business. Absolutely nothing wrong with this model. However, if you're looking towards this model to learn AI or to understand automation and how to bring it into your business and how to work with AI, I think that this model is inherently at odds with what AI is capable of doing and what you can do with AI. Now, let's just back up a little bit here and take a look at the different components of the marketing engine around AI services and products. We're going to start with the products themselves. The marketing is a new model, comes out every single month, it seems like. You have what I would say probably the big four, which is going to be Anthropic's Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, and Grok. And these four are competing for market share. They're competing for your dollars. They want you to use their models. And they're constantly trying to one up the other with new model releases, with models that have larger context windows, that are cheaper to use. You get more mileage out of it, so on and so on and so on. And it's easy to get wrapped up in all of the hyperbole around these models and how it's going to change the game. It's going to be this thing that transforms the entire universe as we know it. And you better be using it, because otherwise you're going to be left behind with no job, no value. Your family's going to leave you, all the crazy stuff they're saying. And we have to just look at it for what it is. It's just trying to get you to know their product, to want to use their products and spend your money with them. So nothing wrong with that, but just know that the next model release isn't going to be the thing that's going to change the game for you. You may put more money into the pocket of the company. They can figure out profitability. I know that profitability of the AI companies is kind of a hard thing for them to justify at this moment, but that's a whole other topic. But just know that it's just trying to get you to use their product and get sucked into the product and to become a repeat customer of the product and to grow and to buy more of their product. To get into higher tiers, start using their APIs. And if you're into developing, you'll be starting to develop with their APIs and start drawing in more consumption, which draws up your bill, and they make more money. Now we're going to go to the other side of this equation, so to speak, and look at the content creators. And that is, these AI gurus are creating videos of urgency around the latest model releases, the features, the ways that you can use it as the next big thing, the next thing that's going to eliminate this thing over here. It's going to solve this problem for you. It's going to put more power in your pocket. And you're going to constantly feel this sense of falling behind, and you become attached to that creator. You think that they have the oracle. They're the ones in the trenches. They're that expert that we're talking about at the beginning of the video. that is now trying to sell their expertise to you to show you how you can use this thing or how you can create a business around it or how you can do whatever with AI. And in the past, again, there's nothing wrong with that model, but the kind of the canary in the coal mine here is that AI can do that for you. You don't need the expert, and you definitely don't need the expert to rope you into their ongoing service or payment or course or community to get good at AI and feel the growth of AI and take advantage of the power of AI that's going to be the future of how we work and how we engage with the technology. Again, there's nothing wrong with learning from somebody and seeing the shortcuts and saving your time there. But the challenge with these creators is that they are moving at the speed of AI. And there's absolutely no way for any human to move at the speed of AI. We're all humans at the end of the day. And yes, they do have expertise in the field so they can pick up on concepts and see the changes and be able to incorporate those changes quicker than someone who has no knowledge or expertise or practice using the tool. However, if you look at the history of a lot of these AI gurus, you will see that they are hopping on the trends and selling you the trends of how to automate, how to use AI. And there's absolutely no way to keep up with it, but they are relying on you not being able to keep up with it so they can keep you as a paying customer in their course or their community. And again, nothing wrong with that model. But what I want to argue here, you don't need them to put together plans for you to learn how to use AI. AI can put together that plan for you and help you just based on the subscription that you have with whatever LLM that you're using. So yeah, some of these creators are helpful because they're humans using the tool and they can help synthesize certain things and give you direction. But the whole business model for them is your attention. It's the same business model as the product marketing of the LLM companies, is to get your attention and to feel like you need to be using their service or you're going to fall behind or you're not going to be at a competitive advantage. And yes, you need to be using AI. You need to learn how to incorporate it in your day-to-day. But AI is the best teacher right now for pretty much anything. You can have it put together courses for you that are personalized to you that will be on a schedule that can remind you in whatever LLM you're using these days. You can set up automated routine tasks and put together a plan on how to learn something or how to develop something or how to put together the building blocks for the thing that you actually want to get into reality. You no longer do you need to rely on an agency. No longer do you need to rely on a coach alone. You don't need to rely on the news cycles of the LLM companies. All this is going to keep you in a cycle of not growing. You're just going to continue to feel like you're dependent on those things. And once they walk away or they decide that they don't want to make content anymore, or they decide that they want to raise their prices that you can no longer afford, then you lose this connection and you feel like you've lost out. You've become the renter rather than the owner. There's always a floor that can be ripped out from underneath you, and you're then stuck with what? You may have learned some things through their training, but their training is built to keep you engaged, to keep you wanting to pay more, to learn more. And AI is just increasingly becoming something to where that model just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense anymore because you can learn the things from AI. Now let's take a look at this practically. What does that even look like? How do you put together learning plans with AI? Because AI is confidently wrong. We know that. It's hard to get AI to understand where you left off in a conversation. Yes, the AI models are getting better at creating memory and knowing things about you and being able to pick up conversations where you left off. But it's not perfect. It really actually is not that great because it will hang on to things that may not be true next week. And then you're having to go back and change things around or say, hey, stop focusing on this area. That's no longer true. Or I don't want you to focus on that. It's really not that big of a deal. And it'll hang on to threads and produce responses based on those threads that could actually inhibit you from being able to create the plans or the products or the ideas or the automations and the design that you want for yourself and for your business. So how do you get around this? Well, there are ways to be able to build in the guardrails or to build in deep learning of your specific expertise and needs while using whatever LLM that you want. So no matter if the models change, no matter if there's a new feature that comes out that's supposed to be the new breakthrough, or a new company comes on the market, or one goes out, like, you still have your knowledge. You still have your ability to navigate the market and go wherever the river of the things take you without feeling like you're constantly going back to the starting line, and without being reliant on the companies or being reliant on a particular creator or framework that they say is the best in this current state of the AI era. And if you want to take a look at this, if you want to become a owner rather than a renter, you need to put together systems that grow with you as you grow in your knowledge of how to use AI. You want to be able to leverage the expertise of what you know, as well as expand your curiosity. Because AI can do pretty much anything and give you any response you want. It doesn't mean every response and anything you build is a good idea. And AI will still maybe tell you it's a good idea when it's not a good idea. But your curiosity will be your bottleneck. If you can be curious, you can build pretty much anything. And you can have AI help you do it. You don't need to have a creator or a course or a community that's ongoing monthly payments or yearly payments or whatever it is. You can do this yourself. You just have to be curious. That will be your greatest asset going forward in this massive shift happening underneath all of the AI noise right now. Is those who are curious are going to win. And the thing is, these content creators, they're curious. However, their curiosity is not going to be your gain long term. Their curiosity is what you're renting. But you want to own things. You don't want to be dependent and beholden on an agency, on a course or a community or one LLM provider. We can't predict the future. We can't predict what's coming. So we want to be in control as much as we possibly can. Obviously, control is an illusion. That's, again, that's a whole other topic. This whole philosophical debate that we're not going to get into in this video. So we want to just step back and take a look at what is actually happening in the market and ignore most of it. You don't need it. You need to be focused on your expertise, what you're trying to accomplish, and then be curious about the ways that you can accomplish those things. And once you're curious enough, you can go to the LLM and ask it, how do I get this curiosity out into the world? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? What can I ignore for now? It's that just-in-time learning that when you reach the problem that you actually have, not the problem that you think you are going to have, then you can solve it by using AI. And some more practical steps moving forward, thinking about this idea, this overall arching transition happening underneath all of the AI marketing noise, is learning how to discern the things that are coming towards you. And the first step is to understand what is foundational knowledge and what is transactional knowledge, or knowledge that's true today but that can change next week. And what I mean by this is there are foundational principles within coding, developing, systems architecture, how to leverage cloud hyperscalers like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. How do you work with those tools that huge developing teams are using today to build amazing software and technology that is things that we use every single day? What are the fundamentals of the internet? How do servers work? How do API calls work? How do MCPs work? How does a database work, and what kind of database should I use for whatever my idea is? How does security work? What is identity? What are all these things and what do they mean? And that's the stuff that is foundational. It's not going to change very fast. And you can ask the AI to put together plans for you on how to understand these things, and also execution plans to get your hands dirty with these things. Doesn't mean you need to learn it all at once, but as you're learning AI and you're building out systems and you want to understand the next steps, just ask the AI, what do I need to know? What are some big pitfalls I need to be aware of? How do I learn this thing? What is good enough for now and what might need to be understood in the future, but I don't need to fully understand it now? And this is that personalization and the learning paths that you can create with AI without needing to be beholden to a content creator, their course, their paid community, or worrying about the product that's coming out next month. These foundations, these are principles, are not going to change. Learn the foundation, and when you're listening to someone or something or reading a new headline or whatever it may be, look at it through the lens of, is this transactional information or is this foundational information? Now it'll help you discern whether it's worth your time right now or not. Now, don't get me wrong, transactional information is fun. It's good to learn about what's coming out and how the technology is progressing, but it shouldn't be the thing that you're focusing on and thinking that you need to stay on top of to be competitive in your market and to grow and build with AI. And this brings me to step 2, is as you learn the foundations, build it into a system, build it into your operational mind that the AI can go back to so it understands your context, your business, where you're at in your learning journey, and how it can help you get to the next step. You can also ask it to teach you in any way you possibly could imagine. You could ask it to teach you in a humorous way, in a short and concise way. Maybe you have a favorite teacher that you had in the past, and there's things about that teacher and their traits that you can tell the AI that you wanted to emulate. You can do whatever you want. Again, curiosity is going to be the biggest bottleneck. Your curiosity is going to drive AI forward for you into the future, ongoing, and that's going to be the thing that's going to help you feel like you're moving forward and getting better with the tool while not being beholden to an agency, content creator, coach, or the LLMs themselves. So again, I'm going to keep repeating that. I keep hammering it home. So I feel like those are what is creating the noise right now, and you can get out of it. They want you to rent. I want you to buy and not feel anxious. And that brings me to the step 3, which I want to just reiterate again. Only build for the things that you're feeling the friction of right now, not for the things that you think you're going to be feeling the friction for. If you have a really small product, then go and take a look at some off-the-shelf products that you can leverage. Like for database, look at Supabase. For front-end app design, look at Versal. If you're just building a website, look at Cloudflare. Leverage those platforms because most of them these days are basically free if you use them. The only place that you're going to get into trouble with those is once you scale, and if you have lots of users or you need to be a little bit more in the technical components of what those products are trying to make easy for the consumer. But most of you probably don't need to worry about that. You won't need to worry about going to AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. But some of you might. Some of you might be in charge of really large teams. You might be in an organization where you're saying, look, I have IT that's going to sniff these things out, and I got to make sure that I am checking all the boxes. So you may have to understand a little bit more of the tech and the development side of what you do. So you're going to have to learn. But again, only learn where the friction is actually real and you feel it. Use the AI to help you figure out what you need to know. What's the foundational principle underneath the thing you need to know? Not just what tool should I use or how do I fix this right now and put a Band-Aid on it. Ask it. If I were looking at this as a systems architect, what would I need to know from a skateboard to a car to an F1 car to an airplane? Like, what are the stages that I need to understand and what's important for me to know right now? So this monumental shift is happening. It's happening right now. The attention economy is real. We're in this age where it's not social media anymore. It's intent media. It's interest media. So the more that you start to feed into wanting to learn AI and going to all the different gurus who are telling you, hey, this is how you do automation this week. This is how you build out systems this week. No longer should any of your AI go out to customers. It should be humans that go out to customers. And then next week's, oh, actually the AI got so good that now you can have AI go to the customers. And here's how you use this tool. Oh, this tool no longer is relevant because AI took over it by being able to do this. If that sounds familiar, then you just have to understand that you are in the marketing engine, that they are trying to sell you on something to keep you engaged with their system ongoing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a good business model. And in practice with business, you want to have customers that you can retain because it's cheaper to keep a recurring customer than it is to go find a new customer, and churn is real. So they got to continually fill their funnel with new leads and get new business. And that's the whole thing. So ownership is actually against the business model of a lot of content creators, because you buy something and they solve the problem for you and you're able to go off and do everything on your own. And I guess there's no stickiness, as they would say it, with their business model, which is a whole other thing that we can get into when it comes to business growth and the idea of constant growth and that whole thing. But I don't think that's what is happening underneath everything, and where AI is going to take the curious and the expert. The curious and the expert are going to be able to take AI and ignore all the noise and understand how to leverage it to build the things that you need to build to win with AI in this new crazy era that we live in. So again, if you want to learn how to put together those guardrails, how to put AI into a box that understands your context and does deep learning on you and what your needs are and how you want to move forward in your business and your work, go in the link below, go check out that free resource, and with enough curiosity, you can build out what it is that I explain. And again, this system is a system that I have built and used to be able to build automations and AI workflows for other businesses. But I find that the future is going to be giving the power over to the individual who is creative, who wants to understand how to take their ideas to life and doesn't want to be beholden on others and wants to own and feel like they're making movement and growth in their life without feeling constant anxiety and falling behind. So go take a look at that, check it out. Let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway moment was from this video. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you on the next one.